I wanted to share about, are we eating healthy? So Dr. Rao is actually telling me, Lalita, maybe you should now talk to our India home residents about exploring their choices on a daily basis. How do we figure out whether we are eating healthy? There is so many different scenarios. There is so many different advices. There is so many different protocols that come in front of you, whether it is for senior care, whether it is for adults, whether it's for children. And every 5 to 10 years, the trend of nutrition, the trend of food habits and everything changes. And, we're constantly kind of bombarding ourselves with information. And we are sometimes very confused, ki, are we really eating right? And then it's all about, am I getting all the food, the correct nutrients that I need to eat? So, and then, also you think about this guilt factor about, hey, am I eating the right amount of nutrients, or am I eating too much of certain foods? And this is a constant question in our minds. But having said that, there are some basics that we can definitely kind of nail down. And that most important thing, the first thing that we need to remember, which we always have talked about, is the healthy eating plate. So looking at your plate or your display, you definitely want to ensure that you have a little bit of everything, a variety of everything. And variety is absolutely critical, because that's what gives you the nutrients from all different type of foods, whether it is micronutrients or macronutrients. When I say micronutrients, I mean your vitamins, your minerals, and your superfoods, your antioxidants. And when I mean macronutrients, the ones you need in bigger quantities, I mean your carbohydrates, protein, and your fats. Last session, Vijay Lakshmi from India, who was the registered dietitian, she spoke about a balanced diet, a typical Indian balanced diet, kaise hota hai. But I would like to reinforce these things and see for ourselves today. So some of you are actually going to help me plan a meal today. And we are going to actually physically plan a meal and put this together. And then I'll send it across also for you to go and see, okay, how do I compare to this on a regular basis? And you don't have to do it every day, but even on a weekly basis, if you're able to do it, I think it'll be fantastic. So as far as your vegetables are going, you want to make sure that there are more veggies, and the greater variety, the better it is. Potatoes and French fries do not count. They are starches. Remember, your starches are separate. They're going to be included under your carbohydrates. Your fruits, you definitely want to eat a multitude of colors. Spring and summer is probably the best time to explore different types of fruits. Go apple picking, go strawberry picking, go blueberry picking. Try and add those. And even kind of, if you are good at canning it, or even dehydrating some of these fruits, making apple crisp once in a while with fresh apples. These are all things that you need to kind of use it according to the season. So that is why, especially New York being a farmland, you definitely avail from more fresh fruits than probably Michigan has. Michigan probably also has a flavor of good fruits, but I think the amount of variety that you guys get as being a farm state, it definitely is a lot more. So explore your local markets, go into these, little farmhouses, or if you can go for some local fruits and stuff like that, try them out. I think that's the only way you can get more of those micronutrients. Needless to say, keep yourself hydrated at all times. It is important that you get other fluids, but nothing like cleansing your body with water, because you know that predominantly your body is made out of water. Some of what we are saying is probably repeats, and we're probably saying it over and over again, but it's because it adds so much importance to our eating habits. And of course, the whole grains. A lot of people now are looking at gluten-free. You want to eat lesser carbs, and there is a little bit of a fever about being very carboholic. Yes, as a country, we are still very addicted to sugars. We do consume a lot more sugar in pounds and in calorie amounts than the other nations. But needless to say, there are a lot of choices, especially in the Indian food choices. There is so many grains and pulses and lentils that you can choose from, that you can actually avoid the sugars completely and be, stick to your more of your whole grains. And of course, lastly, protein. We have to drive home the message that as you are going up in chronological age, after about 40 for women and after about 50 for men, the importance of eating protein. I do have two seniors at our home too, and I do harp about the importance of eating protein. And sometimes they say, why do we need protein now? I mean, we are at a stage in life where we can be eating whatever we like to eat, which is very true. But the reason why we say protein is so critical is because protein helps with your immunity. Protein helps with maintaining your muscle mass. Protein helps with, fighting a lot of the infections. Protein helps with wound healing. Protein helps with bone mass or maintaining your bone mass. So all of this put together, protein is a very integral part of your meals and a very important part that you want to add in every meal. And so today what we are going to essentially do, after I summarize this, is go and check out our meals and see ki, lunch mein hum kya kar rahe hain, dinner mein hum kya kar rahe hain, and see if you are able to get at least a close to balance, if not always a complete balance. If you're looking at a whole week's plan, am I able to get everything that I required at my age and my, my health profile? So this is actually two different types of meals, and I'm going to kind of just reveal to you. For example, on the left-hand side, where we have the dal, we have the raita, we have the papad, we have the sabji, and all of that, that's like a 1500 calorie meal. And then you have other balanced meal ideas, where it could be just roti, chana, and then some sabji and some salad, or there could be different varieties. And all of these, again, the portion control is what is very important, and how we incorporate them in combination with other meals. And already our forefathers have done a phenomenal job in putting our meals together and bringing that combination where one complements the other. So even if you are not harping about protein altogether, and if you're a vegetarian, you can still get predominant amount of protein with a lot of your lentils or your pulses and everything. And that's the beauty of the Asian Indian diet. And what I did want to stress here is, when you look at these portion controls, that is really something which we have to keep in mind. When we are eating, the size of our plate, the size of our katoris do matter. And instead of using a bigger plate or a bigger size katori, even if you are taking a second serving, it would be wiser for you to use a smaller plate and cheat yourself and fill it up a little bit more than use a bigger plate and fill it up even more. So that's my little wisdom, or my little guidelines to you, or guidance to you, to tell you about portion control. As far as you're talking about how do I make sure that my eating habits are healthy, we have stressed this. Eat a lot of vegetables and whole grains, and eat of something that's got a lot of nutrients. So if you are a foodie, yes, it's wonderful to enjoy food and relish food, because that's what makes who you are. But you also want to be understanding whether you're getting the nutrients in it. To be more specific, are you getting the vitamins and minerals from all of these? Eat the right amount of fiber to help with digestion. I'm going to actually reiterate our talks from our gut health, where it is important that you at least get 25 grams of fiber a day. Don't forget to drink a plenty of water. When you are taking that amount of fiber, you don't want to be bloated and feel gassy and feel like you're going to, bloat away or kind of have inconvenience with your stomach. You do want to complement that with at least, several fluid ounces of water. And also sharing meals. The community sense that we have with India Home, and the sharing and caring and giving is a fantastic way of actually reducing boredom with food and also increasing the interaction with food. I think we all agree that food is one way that we show our love or show our compliments or show our engagement with other people. It is a great social interaction. So sharing it with friends and family, and maybe sitting with a loved one and eating, even if it is one meal, I think that's going to make a big difference. At least for us in our home, the way we eat is one meal. We definitely make sure that we are all together at the dinner table and we eat it. So that one meal, I noticed that I would eat more consciously. I would make it a much more aware meal, whether it is made by Ma or whether it's made by me. We compliment each other. We tell each other that the food really is tasty, and you relish it better too. And you take your time to eat it. So sharing meals is definitely a great way of making sure you eat right. And thinking about, taking supplements. Now, this is a very, I wouldn't say a controversial subject, but it's a very, sensitive subject in terms of a lot of people. Americans are still considered to be people who take in a lot of vitamins and minerals. We multivitamins and multi-supplements that we do is almost to a level that they say, in jokingly, they say that the urine of an American is a lot more expensive in all the vitamins and minerals that they flush out than the vitamins and minerals that we sell in the outlet stores. But regardless of, whether you're taking so many multivitamins, some supplements are very, very important. For example, vitamin D, we have stressed about this before, zinc, vitamin C, calcium, vitamin A and vitamin K, the fat-soluble vitamins, especially, you don't need to kind of overdo them, but the water-soluble vitamins. For example, vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin. Vitamin B is a water-soluble vitamin. These will flush out from your system faster. So you want to make sure that, periodically when you're getting your physicals done, and if you have a deficiency, or if they are seeing that you may have a little bit of, memory loss, so you may want to kind of think about taking a B12 vitamin. So supplements, at a certain point in time, the nutrition industry was kind of refraining people from taking too many multivitamins, because once you take medicines, the multivitamins also have a lot of interactions with them. But individualize it for yourself and look at what you need, rather than just taking it, as a run of the mill, or just taking it from a general advice that, all seniors need to take a multivitamin. All seniors need to take B12. Not necessarily. If it is required for your body, if it is required for your status of nutrition, then do it. And now we are getting to a point where our nutrition, our food, our diet is becoming so personalized. They call this precision nutrition. I want you to please Google this up and read about it. I know you guys are all very inquisitive people and always want to fill yourself up with knowledge and knowing more. So please look this up. It is called precision nutrition. You will read about how precise your nutrient intake or your food intake can be based on your DNA type. So from Lalita to Kavita to Geeta ji to Kishan ji, it can be very, very variant depending upon their DNA types also. So 7 tips on developing better eating habits with senior years is cooking your meals. We talked about that. You cook your own meals. One meal, if you're able to actually make it as a family or a get together or friends getting together, it also gives you that community sense. Try new choices for fruits and vegetables. This is just a summary of what we spoke. Track your favorites. The reason I say this is sometimes there are comfort foods that we do. Sometimes there are favorite foods that we do. And we do splurge on those, not realizing or so much in not knowing that it becomes an involuntary action that may be eating too much of that and not eating some of the other important foods that we require. So track your favorites. If there are a few favorites, and if you want to reward yourself with some of those favorites once in a while, it's okay to do that, but in measured quantities that you don't displace all the other important foods. Experiment with substitutions. This is, something which we always have spoken about, where, you replace a bulgur wheat for regular wheat, or you take a flaxseed for, instead of doing all of chapati atta, you can add some flaxseed meal in there. Also, your plate size and your bowl size matters. Minimize sugary drinks. We've spoken about that. Hydrate to quench your thirst. And now we're going to talk about what does your breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner look like. So blue always represents dairy. The red represents fruits. The purple represents your protein. And the yellow or the orange represents your grains. So you're already looking at, at breakfast, it would be nice for you to have a dairy. And if you are lactose intolerant, you can always have a replacement for that, or a substitute for that. You need a protein, you need a fruit, and you need a grain. A snack can be a dairy and a fruit. A lunch, similarly, you don't have to have the dairy. Now you replace that dairy with a vegetable. And then again, at a snack, you can have a vegetable and a dairy. And ultimately, at dinner, it can be a protein, a starch, or a grain, and a vegetable. So this is one way of planning your diet. This is not necessarily every single day you have to do it. Sometimes if you are a small eater, you can switch a snack to a breakfast, or you can switch a lunch to a dinner. This is okay. But on an average, if you're able to get some of these serving sizes in your mind, that would probably be easier for you to understand whether you're getting a better meal, or if are you eating right for portion sizes. So here, I actually put together a very nice daily food plan worksheet. And you want to make sure that the measurements is what I really wanted you to stress upon. 6 ounce equivalents is 1 ounce equivalent is about 1 slice of bread, 1 ounce ready to eat cereal, or half a cup of cooked rice. And sometimes for diabetics, this is not half a cup, it's 1/3 cup. Just remember that. For vegetables, 2.5 cups. This is based on a 2000 calorie meal plan. And maybe most of us, majority of you, at least as seniors, would be eating anywhere between 1,500 to 1,800 to about 2,000. If you are a very, very active individual, you could be eating anywhere from 1,800 to 2,000 calories. But this is on an average that we are looking at. So what is your serving size for fruits? 2 cups of fruits. It can be 1 cup, which is raw or cooked fruit, or it can be half a cup of dried fruit, and it can be 1 cup of 100% fruit juice. Yani we don't add any sugar to it. It is just directly pulsed from the fruit with the fiber in it. Taking the fiber out also would account for just adding more sugar. So please remember that pulsing out the fruit with the fiber is also very important. Dairy, you can want to do at least about 3 cups. If you aren't able to get the complete 3 cups in its purest form as milk, there is substitutes. There's buttermilk. There is all other substitutes that you can use. And find out equivalents of the protein. 1 ounce equivalent is 1 ounce lean meat, poultry or seafood, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon peanut butter, half a cup of cooked beans or peas, and half a cup of ounces in nuts or seeds.